So the month of June is finally over, and I gotta say guys, it was a solid month for fragrance pickup, so stay tuned. Hey, what's good guys? Hunter here and welcome back to Fragrance Hunter. So today we are going to be talking about my favorite fragrance pickups for the month of June, and I think I'm going to be talking about 13 today. However, I did probably get around 20, but these 13 were my absolute favorites and worthy of talking about. And this is a series that I do every single month, guys, so you can kind of see what fragrances I'm picking up, getting into my collection for each month, etc. And as always, before we get into my collection and what I got, drop a comment down below the best fragrances you guys picked up for the month of June as well, because I'm very curious what you guys are copping. And of course, this is not going to be in any particular order, just my absolute favorite pickups for the month. So let's get right into it. The first one I'll be talking about is actually probably one of my favorite designer releases thus far in 2025. It is Calvin Klein's Eternity Amber Essence. So if you caught my review, you've seen how much I hyped this fragrance up, guys. I cannot believe Calvin Klein dropped a banger like this one. This one actually blew me away, to be honest. You get this kind of fruity mandarin opening. It dries down to this very warm, cozy, resinous amber, benzoin, and this sweet vanilla. This absolutely smells like a high-end niche fragrance from like Amouage or even Maison Francis Kurkdjian, because it does kind of give me Grand Soir vibes slightly. Calvin Klein was not messing around with this release, guys. They're trying to get back on the map, but it's actually crazy because you can find this already, I believe, at the rack stores. And this literally just came out a few months ago at the time of this recording, guys. So I don't know why Calvin Klein is kind of doing that to themselves, launching new releases and then just sending them to the rack stores almost instantly. Because to be honest with you, this fragrance does not smell like something you could just go into the rack stores and pick up, guys. It's honestly that solid. So if you love those kind of resinous, warm ambers, benzoin, vanilla style fragrances, you have to get your nose on Amber Essence. This actually made my #1 pick for designer releases thus far in 2025. So yeah, I'm not joking around about this fragrance, guys. So we're gonna be talking about a few supers that I added to the collection for the month of June. The first one is Abu Dhabi. So this one did surprise me, to be honest with you. Was not knowing what to expect from it. This one does kind of remind me of Montal's Arabian Tonka. It's definitely in the same realm and DNA of that fragrance. You got that rose, you of course got that powdery kind of gourmand tonka bean with some amber and a vanilla. I believe this one also has oud. I'm not sure if Arabian Tonka does, I don't recall, but this one definitely does have this kind of oudiness about it, and possibly even stronger than Arabian Tonka. And it's surprising too, because I always looked at Arabian Tonka. It's not one of my favorite fragrances. I'm surprised how much hype it's gotten from Montal, and always thought it does lean a little bit more feminine, guys, for me personally. This one though is more masculine from that scent profile. So of course, if you thought Arabian Tonka was a little bit too feminine with the overdose of rose, etc., you could check out Abu Dhabi, because it's a more masculine, earthy take on that Arabian Tonka DNA. So that's the first one I got from Supers for the month. The next pickup from Supers is Tenerife. So Tenerife was one that I've always wanted to check out from the brand, guys. This has always been on my list. Now, finally getting it in, it is living up to my expectations how good this one actually is, guys. It is going to probably be in the same realm as Bond No. 9's Lafayette Street. If you're familiar with that fragrance, you'll know what I'm talking about. Also kind of in the same realm as Wild Card by Joe Milano, Game of Spades. Very much fruity. I think there's like this apple in here, some spices, vanilla, amber. However, Tenerife takes a much more citrusy approach to that DNA, guys. So it's a more fresher, citrusy approach to, I guess, the Lafayette Street DNA, which I'm not honestly that familiar with Lafayette Street. I do own Game of Spades Wild Card though, which I guess is inspired by Lafayette Street. So I can totally see this being in the same genre, guys, without a doubt. So if you love that scent profile, you want a more kind of summery, fresher, citrusy take on it, I think Tenerife will be a good bet. Definitely has probably become one of my favorites from Supers, especially when it comes to freshies, guys. It's up there on the list. Now, the next pickup from Supers, you guys have heard me talk about because I did a full review on it because I fell in love with it, and it is La Boheme. Now, this one, guys, this is going to be the summer freshie banger from Supers. I'm telling you, it opens up with this beautiful mouthwatering grapefruit, lemon, zesty ginger, aromatic juniper berries thrown into the mix with this kind of earthy, dewy vetiver dry down. So it is going to be that kind of citrusy, vetiver style fragrance. Think of something like Raja Parfums, Isola Blue, maybe even Sospero's Basso, and of course Tudor Hermes. It's going to be in that realm of things, with maybe even a little bit of this gentle fluidity, silver DNA thrown into the mix from the juniper berries, because you're going to get a dose of a juniper in a La Boheme, and it's excellent. So yeah, I'm going to be rocking La Boheme a ton during the summertime, guys, no doubt about it. This stuff is a banger. The next one up from Supers is one that's going to be more targeted towards the fall, but man, I can't wait because this stuff is insane. It is Gentlemen. Now this one has also always been on my radar, especially since I love tobacco fragrances. This is probably one of the best fall tobacco fragrances from Supers, hands down. You have this kind of powderiness thrown into the mix. You have tonka beans in there as well. Of course, the sweet, spicy vanilla, and that very earthy cherry pipe tobacco. This one also has this kind of chocolatiness about it as well. Now, people may say this is kind of similar to Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille, which I can definitely see it being in the same category. Of course, when you think of tobacco and vanilla, that's probably the first fragrance that comes to mind. However, this one is much more complex, a lot more going on. However, if you love Tobacco Vanille, without a doubt, you're going to fall in love with Gentlemen. This stuff is just so sexy to smell. But like I said, probably a little bit too dense and potent to rock in the summertime, which we're in now, unless I'm going out on a date in the evening or something, then possibly. But a certified banger from Supers. I also did get one more Supers, which is unreleased, guys. It's coming out very, very soon, so I can't talk about it yet. But guys, if you're a fan of Supers, you have a treat coming your way. Believe me, I cannot wait to put you guys onto this new release coming out very soon. And if you want to check out anything from the house of Supers, which I recommend because they have so many bangers, use code HUNTER10 to save 10% off. The next pickup was the newest release from House of Dasan. This one is Unseen. So if you caught my review about this one, guys, this is going to be the freshest, cleanest linen style fragrance I've ever smelled, guys. It smells like I'm wrapped up in this linen blanket. I have a cashmere sweater on, etc. It smells so cozy, guys. You also have this kind of milky fig note going on in the mix of Unseen as well. It's very unique. I've never smelled anything quite like this fragrance. But if you do like those kind of clean linen, fresh sheets vibe fragrances, you have to check out Unseen because it's probably the top tier version of any fragrance in that realm, guys. You cannot beat this fragrance when it comes to clean linen style scents. Just very cozy, warm, lactonic, and milky with a little bit of fig in there as well. This is the fragrance I'm spraying on anytime I want to just relax and be at ease and peace, guys. If I just want to be wrapped up in a blanket per se. Unseen is what I'm reaching for. Very unique, very much unisex from the house as well. And also, if you do want to check out House of Dasan on Maxx Aroma, use code HUNTER15 to save some cash because these are pretty pricey. The next pickup for June happened to be the newest release from Maison Margiela, and it is Never Ending Summer. This right here, guys, is going to be a staple in the summertime, and no doubt about it. It's so fresh, so citrusy. You have this bright orange in the opening. You also have this kind of boozy Aperol Spritz, which is, I guess, an Italian cocktail. You literally smell like you're on the Amalfi Coast in Italy during the summertime, guys. This is the vibe that this gives off, and they captured it perfectly, guys. It couldn't be better than what they did. And I've never tried any other fragrance with the note of Aperol Spritz. It kind of has this fizzy, orange cocktail booziness about it. Probably the most refreshing summer fragrance from Maison Margiela without a doubt. And they have a lot of them. When I think of something in this realm just being ultra fresh, a little bit sharp as well because of the citrus notes, you also think of something like Zaharoff Renaissance. You think of like Tom Ford's Mandarin di Amalfi. But this one, guys, I believe tops all of them. There's something so addicting for the summertime about wearing this. Highly recommend checking out Never Ending Summer if you're looking for a summer banger for 2025. Also got another fragrance from Maison Margiela, which has been around for a long time, and finally getting my hands on it, and it is Sailing Day, which is probably one of the most popular ones for the summertime from Maison Margiela. And this one is going to be their kind of blue take on a fragrance as well. This one's very aquatic, very sea-like, salty. You also have the aldehydes in here, which gives it off this kind of powdery, clean soapiness about it. A little bit of this kind of fresh aromatic juniper, some iris stone in there to give it off this luxurious take like you're on a yacht. But in the base, you have this salty ambergris that's also earthy, mixed together with this kind of salty, earthy seaweed. This very aquatic, very salty. Now, when I smelled this for the first time, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Louis Vuitton's Meteor, which is Louis' take on a blue fragrance. Also very fresh, clean, kind of like dryer sheets. This one gives off the same vibe, just much more aquatic. And I've never seen anybody kind of compare the two of these fragrances either, which did surprise me. So very good release, and that's why it's been around so long from Maison Margiela is Sailing Day. I really Cannot wait to wear this one even more. So next up, I got a few fragrances from this indie house called Mini Spritz. This one, however, I think is my favorite one and the only one I'm going to be talking about, and it is Coconut Luxe. Guys, if you want a coconut fragrance on literally the low, this right here is going to be a good option. These go for around $25 for a 50 ml, and these are Extrait de Parfums, which I think is a great value. And their sister companies too, Authenticity Perfumes, which I know probably a lot of you guys have heard of. But for some reason, for only being 25 bucks, Coconut Luxe does not smell cheap or anything along those lines, guys. It does kind of give off this kind of high quality coconut vibe in here, very luxurious smelling. It does slightly give off like I'm on vacation, chilling out by the pool, got some suntan lotion on, guys, maybe drinking a pina colada, and it's excellent. Just the kind of fragrance throw in your bag, going somewhere warm, maybe going to the beach, going poolside, etc. Spray this on and you're gonna be set. Definitely check out Mini Spritz if you're into those kind of indie fragrances and you don't want to spend a ton of money, because I think these guys are doing something special. So yeah, Coconut Luxe is a banger. Next up is going to be a fragrance from this Greek brand, which I've been dying to check out, and this one is Kaima. So I did get two from them. Kaima is definitely my favorite one, which is why I'm speaking about it, and it's going to be another aquatic fragrance. And guys, if you didn't know, my collection was lacking of aquatic. So thank goodness in the month of June, I did get some great aquatic style fragrances. Kaima is one of them. Get this kind of juicy mandarin lime combo right away when you apply it. That does dry down very salty, like even saltier and more aquatic than Sailing Day, which we just talked about. This one is extremely salty and captures the ocean vibe perfectly. Like I just got washed away from the waves in the ocean is how Kaima smells. You also do have this kind of woody cedar wood vetiver base of Kaima as well, but literally hands down one of the best aquatics in my entire collection without any question, guys. And I wasn't always the biggest fan of aquatics. This one though is very good. I just wish the performance was slightly better because it is an EDT, but still Kaima is a banger. Next fragrance up is an ultra niche fragrance, guys. It is the Perfumes Spice Route, which I just dropped my review on this one, guys. If you haven't watched it already and you're actually into fragrances, niche fragrances at least, you have to check out the review, because the Perfumes is known for making these very expensive, very high quality natural attars, and they just recently started making these modern elixirs like Spice Route. And guys, these things are very limited, very exclusive, because I think they only make 100 bottles of them. And by the way, the concentration oil with this is 40%, which is so high, guys, almost like an attar in kind of a spray form. So dense, this stuff sticks on you forever. However, Spice Route is going to take you back to like ancient times, like thousands of years ago. Driving down a dirt road on this kind of wooden carriage, you have the spice markets all around you, getting these spice aromas blasted in your face. Ultra spicy, ultra earthy, and photorealistic. Like if you love those kind of ancient time vibes, you have to check out Spice Route because it's gonna give that to you. Yeah, the Perfumes is no joke, but I'm curious if you guys have ever heard of this brand. If you've tried anything from them, like the attars or any of the other modern elixirs, I think they come out with 4, but they sell out extremely fast. I think there are still a few of Spice Route on their website. But yeah, if you don't want those mainstream designer spicy fragrances like Victor Ross Spice Bomb, you have to check out Spice Route because this is next level. The next fragrance is the newest fragrance from Burberry in this line, and it is Burberry Hero Parfum Intense. So of course, the Hero line has been around for a few years now, which I think was a lifesaver for Burberry, guys. I think Hero is the best line from the brand. However, Hero has come out with so many flankers. You of course had the original EDT. They came out with an EDP, they came out with a Parfum, and now they came out with a Parfum Intense, which I think this should have been called like Elixir or something. This one's going to be a lot spicier, a lot heavier on leather and wood, guys. And honestly, I was a big fan of the original Hero. I just dropped my review of that one not too long ago. Go check that out. So I'm gonna have to review this one very soon, and I realized I never reviewed the OG. Now, I haven't spent much time with the Parfum Intense, haven't worn it that much, etc. But I still, after just smelling it from the cap right now, I think I might still prefer the fresh, kind of aromatic original Hero, guys. That is just an insane DNA with that ultra, very nice, non-basic woody base from the OG Hero, like 3 different cedar woods. This one's just a lot more dense, spicier, and has some leather thrown into it. It's not fresh, there's no citruses in there, it's not really that aromatic. But if you do love those spicy, leathery, woody fragrances, you might prefer Hero Parfum Intense. But still, I'm gonna have to review this one very soon and get to know it more. So the last fragrance we'll be talking about is a fragrance from Lattafa that I did pick up at a rack store because I heard great things about it. And this one is Lattafa's Brioche Vanille, which I think I'm pronouncing right. However, this is going to be this kind of fresh, sweet baked bread. I think it's called brioche. Very much gourmand, guys, which I've been into gourmands lately. This is a solid gourmand fragrance. If you love the smell of bread, I think you will enjoy this one. The opening is great. But as this one starts to dry down, you're gonna get some of this balsam fir. However, the base is you're gonna get that vanilla. Now the vanilla is this very sweet, spicy, slightly smoky smelling vanilla mixed together with that resinous benzoin. And I also think there's a little bit of chocolate thrown into the DNA as well in the dry down. But geez, I think this is a solid release from Lattafa, and it doesn't remind me of any other fragrance. I don't know if this is inspired by something or just a straight up unique blend. But if the smell of bread, chocolate, vanilla, and some resinous quality sounds good to you, this is definitely worthy of picking up, especially for the price. I think you can find this for around 30 bucks. And the bottle does look very sick too. But that's gonna do it for my favorite pickups for the month of June, guys. Let me know down below what fragrances you guys have picked up and what were your favorites as well, because I'm curious what you guys are getting. And also leave a like on the video, subscribe below if you haven't already, because what are you doing? I got you with the fragrance content, and I'll see all of you back here in my next upload. Take care, everybody.